Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chill Builds. So this build is meant to be a quick festive one for the Christmas season, or the holiday season, or whatever you would like. It's on the same server and map as Dragonhearth, and it has a lore that ties into Dragonhearth very loosely, so obviously this is very far away from the map of Dragonhearth. This one is clear up north, and there you can hear some more sirens possibly in my microphone. This would be the sixth time I've tried to record this where sirens have interrupted, so if you can hear them, I apologize. If not, then ignore what I just said. But anyways, someone was going to build an ice city here, and they started this house and never finished it, and so we came along and we revamped the house, fixed it up. We got two of my my buddies on the server helping out with these first two episodes. They build it quite a bit as well, so we're all looking at the house and determining what's best to make it look good. And I think we developed a pretty solid style when it comes to this build, honestly. And if I had more time, I would probably build a nice big city with builds like this. But for now, it's just a small little village. We're gonna call it a city anyway, but it's a small little village and a castle across the way. And we'll see some of that later on. Excuse me. Ugh. They also spawned in a giant statue. I have no idea why they insisted on said statue, but they can have it. So there you go. There's a big old statue there. Biggest thing there. They basically uploaded a 3D model to some website, and that website gave them a schematic file that they could just drop into the world, and then they turned it to ice. So while I'm building the castle, they're actually inside of the statue, working on trying to make the inside of the statue, because it was hollow, trying to make that all ice. And I started on the walls of the eventual castle, which I'll tell you what, it was definitely a challenge to build all of the stuff that I had out of ice and snow, and limiting myself with materials that I wanted to use. But you know, I think I did a pretty good job. You know, wood is definitely a crutch that I feel like I had that I couldn't use very much on this one. We decided to use it for some doors. We decided to use some spruce doors, but as far as wood goes, that was just about it. I think we used a little bit of birch somewhere else later on. I can't remember. But if you remember at the beginning of the video, I tried to use some birch trapdoors, and it just didn't work out. I did try and challenge myself a little extra on this, and I tried to make a circular watchtower. It did not turn out the way I wanted it to. And I actually just remembered that this next replay file is it's glitched out. Yeah, so the whole thing is, or part of it is frozen in time? Oh gosh, I don't know. Maybe it's not glitched out. I could have sworn there was definitely one that was glitched out. Anyways, so they screwed up, and they're messing with the legs. Yeah, here we go. So it's glitched out, and it just freezes here. But they get their legs fixed, and I give up on this tower, which I think you can see in the next frame. Is me giving up on said tower and trying again. But there's a nice little circle of the circle tower. So yeah, I tried to use ice and stuff, and I tried to build like a sort of icicly tower here, but the circle part wasn't working out, and I couldn't get anything to look the way I wanted it to. So I eventually gave up, and I made a square tower. Is what ended up happening. So that's what you see in here, is I really struggle with this circle tower, and then I switch over to a square one. So this is a really long glitchy shot, but I'm committed to recording this one singular moment in time as we circle around this tower. I'll tell you what, while we're in this shot, why don't you all take the time to admire what's going on in the bottom right. So this is a new graphic that'll start popping on new Dragonhearths when the ones that aren't pre-recorded and it's just a little subscribe button. It's to remind people to hit the subscribe and any sort of interaction. So if you have any suggestions on builds or other things as well, comment, like, all that stuff. It all helps my videos look good to the YouTube algorithm, so that YouTube shows my videos to more people, and then yada yada yada. And if you subscribe, you can see the rest of the build, because I believe the shot's about to end right about now. Oh, finally. Alright, so glitchy shot. So you can see off in the distance, that's what I was trying to build, that tower, and oof, looking at it now, it looks terrible, and I am glad that I decided not to go that route. And then you can see my buddies building another tower, or building another house, I should say, in the town. And then we also built some spikes. They're going to be like these sort of replacement trees in the build. We didn't really build too many of those, but we built some. And if I ever come back to the City of Ice, then we'll probably build some more. But you can see one of my buddies looking at the tower off in the distance with me as well, as I struggled to figure it out. He offered some input, and it was good input, but at the end of the day, it wasn't a good tower. So you can see me sort of struggling, and then eventually I just used some commands to delete it all, because gross. Anyway, and then I started on the real tower, which is a pretty good one. And over at the village, they built some little railings, and they start to build a big bridge across over to a center island that they're going to build something else on, and they handle that whole build. So the bridge all the way across the lake is something that those two did. So starting with the bridge, and then obviously there's going to be a big island in the middle, if you saw in the intro, with a tree with red leaves. But I believe that tree and building that tree is going to be where we start the next episode. But this bridge is really cool. I really like it. They definitely use sort of more commands and tools to copy and paste things than I do. So if you see, they build the circle where the tree is going to go, and then they copy a section of the bridge off over into my castle, where it's going to go into the castle. But yeah, so I usually like to build things by hand, just because I don't know, I think it looks better with the time lapse, and it's a zen thing to just sort of place block after block after block and sort of just chill out, which is what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a chill build, and this one particularly is super chill, because it's Nice City. I know, I'm hilarious. So there you go. There's the big circle. And then they add some ice. I really like that bridge. It's honestly one of my favorite parts of the whole build, is the design they had for the bridge. And then, boop, see, there you go. Then they copy it all the way across, so you can see it a little closer. I think later on, we get to see the bridge closer in a different episode. So you can get a better idea of the design. But if not, it's pretty good. I quite like the design. And this tower is the tower, by the way, that I finally decided to finish on. I think, yes. So I made the top an open tower, so instead of a roof, it's just more battlements, or whatever you call them, crenellations in the top there, so you can stand on the top, and then you can stand right down below. And I quite like that. I end up putting some end rods in there next episode. And I thought that was really cool, because it made it look like icicles. And yeah, so I think we're about to come to a conclusion. So you can see that middle island, that's going to be where the tree is, right there. There it is, popping up. So I think the tree gets finished in the next video. I'm not sure. No, I am sure, because, I mean, look at the timestamp. The video is almost over. But, yeah, so there was a lot of debate on the color of the leaves of the trees, but if you can see in the intro, we ended up with red, and I think it looks pretty okay. So, that's it for this episode. I'm going to release one every Friday leading up until Christmas, so look out for the next one.